You don't have a porn problem. We have a pain problem, and porn is the pill that we use to salve the pain. That's the system we had for dealing with pain. That system got results that system is designed to get, but the side effects are really brutal, really brutal. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to have you with us, podcast land, Facebook land, wherever you are listening to the podcast. Welcome back to the Porn to Purpose podcast. I am your co-host, Yeadon, my partner in recovery, Mr. Matthew Sinkovitz. Matt, I'm really happy to see that the beard is coming back in pretty solidly.
Thank you. It feels good. You know, I took it a little too short a couple weeks ago when I went to the beach, and that's always a potentially traumatic event, you know, for a man that's had a beard to see his face again. But I'm recovering, and the beard's coming back in nicely. So thank you, Yeadon.
I am almost at the point where I think it might be time for me to go not clean shaven, but get the beard nice and tight again.
Yeah.
Part of that is because when I'm exercising, like sometimes the beard like gets caught against the bench when I'm doing certain exercises. I'm like, okay,
I get it. Life ain't easy.
It might be time.
Life ain't easy with the beard.
Well, listeners, men out there listening to the podcast, really glad that you're here. As we've been doing the past couple episodes, we're talking about real life, like almost real time situations, events, stories that happen, and how it applies, how I apply recovery, how recovery applies to the life lessons we learn. Just going through our day. This past weekend, I went on a guy's trip with two of my best friends from 20 years ago back in my youth ministry days. I did youth ministry in El Paso, Texas for a decade, and I met Matt and Ben out there while I was out there. Actually, I met Matt's wife. Matt's wife was an intern in the program, and then she married Matt, which is how I met him. Ben was another youth minister at a sister church. His wife was a volunteer with my youth group. My wife was an intern at my church. So all six of us, all the husbands and wives, are all super tight. We've known each other for 20 years, and we're still connected to this day. The husbands try and go on a trip once a year or once every other year. The girls, the women, the wives, they try and go on a trip about the same period of same period of time, every year or two. We all try and get together. So this past weekend, I was with my youth ministry crew, Matt and Ben. We converged in Nashville, Tennessee, and then road tripped over to Chattanooga, where we did some hiking, we did some mountains, we did the downtown scene, and we had a fantastic weekend. And something that I want to talk about in terms of going on this trip, Matt, I know from my time, not my time in, I'm still actively working on my recovery. We don't just graduate from the Liberation Boot Camp. It's like, okay, good, be well, right? You know, but the last line of the Noble Code, which is something that we recite every week on our main call in the Liberation Boot Camp. If I stray from the path, I vow to return.
Yeah.
Right. A friend of mine, just in the past 2 weeks, we're talking something in the real estate industry, and he said the only difference between losers and winners is a winner is a loser who got up one more time.
I like that.
Right? That's the only difference between a winner and a loser.
Yeah.
And that line of the Noble Code, if I stray from the path, I vow to return. I was thinking about that as I came back from this guy's weekend. Now, no, I did not reset my sobriety tracker on the weekend, over the weekend, but I will be completely transparent. Before I found recovery, going on a trip like this would have been, the inner addict would have been like, hey, I don't have any, basically I'm in a hotel room by myself, like I'm traveling, no accountability of any kind. It's time to party. Let's go crazy.
Yeah.
All right. It would have been a binge event.
Yes.
With my inner addict taking over. Not the case this time. And both my friends, Matt and Ben, they know I'm in recovery, actively participating in my own recovery for addiction to pornography. Because I don't keep this a secret. But pornography, like the active recovery from pornography, my daily core 4 habits, reading, journaling, exercising, meditation, that's not the only thing I'm working on in my life. Now, I will say that is the keystone. That is the cornerstone. That is the priority in my life these days, making sure that my recovery is on point. But the way that looks practically can look different from day to day. As part of my ongoing efforts to, I joked with you for the longest time. I still crack these jokes. Like, Matt, when I joined Liberation Boot Camp, all I wanted was to get rid of porn. Right. I did not sign up to be a better human. Where did that come from?
Sorry.
I did not know, I didn't read the fine print. But as part of this journey to be the best version of myself, the best father, the best man I can be, I've really done a lot with my eating this past year. My eating habits. I've been active for most of my life, run marathons. I did an Ironman about 4 years ago, but I never really understood how to control my intake, control my food intake until this year. It finally clicked. Not unlike 2.5, 3 years ago when recovery from porn kind of clicks, like, oh, click. It's like the switch got flipped. It's like, I get it. I can see what I need to be working on instead of just white knuckling it and hoping that I'm better off in a week. So I've been really working on my nutrition this year, and, it's paid off. I've lost 30 pounds since March, down 30 pounds. But going on a guy's trip, let me get back to going on a guy's trip in Nashville, which is basically the music version of Las Vegas, and then going into Chattanooga, which is this cool, artsy kind of hipster town. I knew that it wasn't realistic for me to stick strictly to my calorie budget. It's like, I know eating in restaurants, it's going to be difficult to track my food. I don't have my food scale. I don't have all the tools that I use to normally control what I eat and control my environment. I'm going to do the best that I can. And my target is about 5,000 calories a day on this vacation, which is crazy for me to think that 5,000, I used to eat 5,000 calories in a normal day, just not even blink. Similar to like porn recovery, where going on this trip, like, I didn't even think about using porn. Whereas 5 years ago, that would have been the only thing I would have been thinking about. It's like, oh man, I got unlimited, nobody around, right? Yeah. Inner addict is like, let's go. This time, the inner addict wasn't pestering me about porn. I was looking at my food like, okay, what's realistic for me to work on this trip, so I don't just totally throw all of my eating habits out the window. So I came up with this, I don't want to say compromise, but I came up with this plan. My plan was, I'm still going to track my food on this trip, and my goal is 5,000 calories a day. That is reasonable. I can do it. Well, Thursday, got into Nashville. I overshot by about 300 calories because I just forgot to track some things. And when I remembered, plugged them in, it's like, oh, shoot, over budget by just a couple hundred calories. Friday, under budget by like 300 calories, so kind of balanced out. Saturday, I didn't track because we went whitewater rafting in the morning. We went hiking, like we were go. We went to this music festival in the evening, and I just didn't actually have the capacity to pull out my phone and plug everything in that I was eating throughout the course of the day. I have no idea how many calories I ate on Saturday. Same thing on Sunday. And honestly, on Sunday, it was like, well, I didn't track on Saturday. I'm not going to track today. You know how that goes.
Sneaky.
Right?
Oh.
Similar with like, even with talking about porn and binging, it's like, oh, I already reset my tracker today. I may as well just go nuts. for the next couple of days and really get it out of my system and then get back on the path.
Get my money's worth.
Right. It's like, if I'm going to reset, I'm going to get my money's worth with this relapse, right? Do not recommend. 0 out of 10 stars. Do not recommend that. So on Sunday, even though I didn't track, I was way more cognizant of what I ate. I was like, okay, I'm going to be cautious with what I eat, even though I'm not going to track, because who knows what kind of sauces or oils or anything. It's like, I ate a double cheeseburger at one meal, had a beer somewhere else, but I didn't eat 2,000 calories every time I sat down. I had it more under control. Then Monday was a travel day, traveling home. And on Monday, I knew, like, okay, it's time to get right back on the path. Get back on the path. So Monday morning, had a protein bar out of my briefcase. I tracked the biscuit with butter and jam that we ate at the breakfast place. Tracked everything, traveling through the airports. Got home. Had my food scale. Weighed out my turkey. Weighed out my bread, my cheese for my sandwich. Right back into my habits of tracking my nutrition. And, I stepped on the scale yesterday evening. Stepped on the scale again this morning. And yeah, I'm up about 5 pounds since leaving for the trip. Now, granted, that's not all just pure fat, right? There's some water and retention and everything. But I stepped on the scale, kind of like how we do in recovery. When there's a reset, we have to figure out what happened. What happened? And actually, this conversation right now is kind of my 0-day document. I know what happened. I didn't have the space to write everything down that I was eating on Saturday and Sunday. And by I didn't have the space, I chose not to have the space. I could have, had I really wanted to.
I like that distinction. Yeah.
I could have, had I really wanted to. So I slipped on Saturday, I slipped on Sunday, and then I got right back on the path of my nutrition. And I also slipped, not with my sobriety, but I slipped in my recovery. On Monday, got up at 6 a.m., out of the Airbnb, multiple hour drive to back into Nashville, did some more Nashville stuff before we got to the airport. At the airport, boom, 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 home. As soon as I get home, I'm back into dad mode, back working with the family, all the way up until evening when it's time to get in bed, go to sleep, 9:30 at night. I've been on the go nonstop all day. And I remember I haven't journaled and I haven't meditated. I've only done 2 out of my core 4. And I distinctly remember lying in bed Monday night. I'm like, I am not getting out of bed. I cannot make this happen today. I'm going to take it as a miss and get back up tomorrow and make sure this does not happen 2 days in a row. And yesterday, got back up, core 4 complete. Core 4, I still have journaling left to do today, but I finished meditation, a couple hours ago, did a 15-minute meditation, got my exercise, got my reading done this morning, still have journaling left to do. I'm right back at it with my core habits that support my recovery. Because, y'all, nobody is perfect. I know it's a cliche thing to say, but the reality is you cannot bat 1,000 at this stuff for the rest of your life. Now, is batting 1,000 with sobriety, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But let's be realistic. There are going to be days where maybe you're sick. Maybe you're laid up in bed all day. Maybe you got a 12-hour shift at work, and then you got 4 more hours of family stuff you got to take care of at the house. There are going to be days where we get knocked off of our habits, where we get knocked off of our systems that we use for our health, recovery, sanity, whatever systems we use. There are going to be days where we get knocked off. There are going to be days where, you know what, we have been off track for long enough that we relapse. We type in the website. We scroll on Instagram. We hang out in the middle circle territory until we kind of accidentally slip into inner circle territory. I know, I've been there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to click the link tree on this Instagram person. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. There's probably not, there might not be a paywall, right? You're fishing for the pay. Like, oh yeah, I knew she had one. Yep. Like, no, don't do that. Don't hang out in middle circle. It's so slippery. With me, I had a couple days where I got knocked off of my habits. And as of yesterday, well, really as of Monday, I missed my core 4. But as of yesterday, right back in with my core 4, right back in with tracking what I eat. Today, again, I still have one of the habits left, been tracking all my foods. Like as of right now, it's like, let's be real. Let's see. Let's put my money where my mouth is. Okay. I got 176 grams of protein so far today. I've eaten 1,620 calories. And according to my calorie burn for the day, I need to eat 800 more calories. There we go. I'm going to get my 800 calories, be within my targets, right back on track to live the rest of my life this way, tracking what I eat, just like I'm living the rest of my life in my recovery with my core 4. It's like, I'm not doing my core 4 until I'm good. I'm good because I'm doing my core 4. I'm good because I'm active in my recovery. So I know I've been monologuing ad nauseum so far, but I want to make some points here because I have some notes. Like I put this all together. I made some notes, right? It's like straying isn't failure. It just means something in our framework was weak. And the pressure from the outside world, right? It's like the pressure pushed it all over the framework. It found the weak spot and it just came right in. The vow to return is what keeps progress alive. All we have to do is get back up one more time than we fall. That's it. If you fall 1,000 times, get up 1,001 times. Using a system. Yo, we all have systems. Matt and I were reading this book together called The Power of Systems, and it's a great book. One of the things it points out is that everybody uses systems in their lives. And we're all getting the results that our systems are designed for. For me, it took me 42 years to find a system that helped with my pornography addiction. Up until then, the only system I had was white knuckling it. Just like with my food, the only system I had really to kind of control my food was just not unlike porn. It was like, oh man, I'm just going to eat salad and fruit all week. I'm going to eat super healthy. And I would white knuckle my eating habits and it would last about a week. And I'd go back to a Costco pizza and a 6-pack of beer all by myself. Not unlike porn, where it's like, I'm just going to not use porn and white knuckle it for as long as I can until I crack and I'm right back in there. My white knuckling system got the results that it got because that's how it worked. The system worked. I was not happy with the results. Now, the systems I have, both for my nutrition, for my health, for my fitness, and for my recovery from porn, these systems work so much better. They're so much more powerful. They don't require nearly as much willpower or brain power. It's just like, oh, this is my system. This is what I'm doing today. I do the input and I get the output of recovery and freedom and strength. So here's my challenge. My question is, what system are you using for your recovery, for your health, for your growth? If you're not happy with the results, let's update your system. Let's get you a new system. You're not broken, brother, right? We talk about it all the time on the podcast. You don't have a porn problem. We have a pain problem, and porn is the pill that we use to salve the pain. That's the system we had for dealing with pain. That system got results that system is designed to get, but the side effects are really brutal, really brutal. So if you're unhappy with the results you're getting from that system, let's fix you up with a better system, one without the nasty side effects, one that you can use indefinitely with success. So that's my story, Matt, just from this past weekend of my plan, my deviation from the plan, me getting back on track, back on path, both with my recovery habits and my eating habits. I wanted to share that because that is real life. It's real life. It's not all sunshine and daisies. It's the real work. It's getting punched. It's like, oh man, I messed up. Now I gotta plug back in. I have to get back on track with my system.
Love it, Yeadon. It's a great analogy. And these principles that we work with, how I do anything is how I do everything. I find that they apply throughout all of our life. The same principles and the ideas that you see applying in your recovery framework apply to your eating framework, et cetera. So these systems, they apply to the full spectrum of our life. And these ideas repeat over and over again. Like, if I stray from my path, I vow to return. The one thing that sticks out to me is we talked last week on the egg episode.
Oh yeah,
on the egg episode, and we talked about even if our egg farm, our egg production, system fails, or the hawk comes in and steals all the eggs, right? Because we've been keeping up with our daily maintenance, our regular maintenance, even if we lost our whole flock, so to speak, it would be easy to get back up and running because of the daily system, and because of the daily reps we've been putting in. That was kind of one of the themes of last week's episode, was like, it's about the daily regimen. It's about showing up consistently, and I think about you, one, going away on your trip. And I would imagine that the muscle that you've built around food, it's still, even though you weren't tracking calories and maybe you went overboard those couple of days, like, I would imagine that muscle was still intact. I bet you still made healthier decisions than you would have a year or 2 or 3 ago. One.
Yes.
Right?
For sure.
So it's like we're practicing on the day-to-day. So whenever we go out, maybe we decide to say, hey, I'm just going to do what I want, but we're still kind of shaped, in a different way. Number one. And number two, because you've been putting in the reps, and you've been building that groove in your life, when it was time to come back home and lock in, it was much easier. Right?
Yes.
Because the muscles are built, the pattern is established.
It feels like I'm home, back in my route. It's like, not like, oh man, I've given up something. I don't feel like I've given up anything. It feels like I'm back.
Right.
And I'm here for it.
Absolutely. So I hear you mention, like, so if your systems aren't working, like, let's talk about a new system.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what system would you propose, Yeadon?
So the system I propose is the same system I went through, right? For pornography recovery, for freedom from pornography, I recommend the Liberation Bootcamp, where you get plugged in to this community where it's okay to be who you are. We all started at the same spot. And being in a safe space where shame dies, where it's safe to tell your story, where there's nothing but encouragement and helping you take the next step. And it's a proven system to build these habits, to overcome the grip and the pull into the abyss of the pain pill of pornography. Right? The liberation, straight up, I recommend the Liberation Bootcamp. I'm a product of it. I am, coming up on 3 years in my recovery with 99.8%, 99.9% uptime in my sobriety over those 3 years.
So, Liberation Boot Camp. Yes, I mean, Yeadon is the product of the system, you know, a brother who came into the program and showed up to the Liberation Boot Camp and the Porn to Purpose community the same way he showed up in the way he shows up in every other aspect of his life, locked in and engaged and saw beautiful results in his life, you know, and adopted new systems which actually serve and support him in his recovery. So, brothers, if you're out there, maybe you're recognizing in your own life that your systems aren't working and it's time for an upgrade, right? It might just be a matter of your systems. We want to invite you to head on over to www.porntopurpose.com and check out what we have going on as a community. Check out some of the free resources we have available. Check out the Liberation Boot Camp and learn more about the community and myself and Yeadon. We'd love to talk with you. We'd love to have a conversation, learn more about what you're doing, what systems are currently in place, and how we can help get that upgrade.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, man. Check us out. Shoot us a private message. Let's talk. We can understand where you are, what systems you have in place, what you don't like about the system you have in place, and what the systems look like in the Liberation Boot Camp.
That's it.
And as always, wherever you are listening, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, if you would give us a like, give us a 5-star review. It really does help people, other men, find this podcast, hear this message, to be supported and encouraged on their journey. Because y'all, it is tough. It is tough to stay on the path of recovery.
Yeah.
So help us out. Help us spread this message. Give us a review. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Share this podcast with somebody you care about. And in the meantime, keep getting back up.
That's it.
Rise and rise. As the quote from the Robin Hood movie with the Australian actor whose name escapes me, but he was in Gladiator, that guy, Russell Crowe.
Oh, yes.
Rise and rise again until lambs become lions.
Amen.
And we'll see you in the next episode, brother. Ciao.
Peace, power.
Peace and power.
Noblemen.